What's up, YouTube? This is the Straight Out of the Bay 49ers Roundtable Show. Can't wait.
That yee, we getting it, boy.
What's good? You know who it is. It's your boy, Jay in the Bay.
Your baller back again. Smells like football season.
Yo. Whoa.
There it is. Hey, we're a couple short right now, but I'm joined by my guy Jay in the Bay. Jay, how you feeling today?
I gotta say, faithful Niner Empire. What's good? It's your boy, Jay in the Bay. Hey, pleasure to be on tonight with the Straight Out of the Bay crew, man. We're like you said, we're down 2, but they should be coming in hopefully real soon. But yeah, man, it's a blast to be on with you tonight. And a huge shout out to everyone that's in the chat right now. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button.
No doubt. Hey, tough one yesterday.
Yeah.
49ers lose 28-14. And, you know, there were some positives. There were some negatives, Jay. You know, that being said, we lost. So I want to start off talking about the negatives, things we could have done better. What did you see? There, I think my man's expression said it all right there. He was watching the game from his phone, and he was displeased with what he saw from Jimmy G, to say less. But, Jay, I wanted to ask you, what were your main takeaways from this loss, some negative things that you saw?
Where do I start? I mean, this was a disappointing performance on the road in Atlanta. You know, it was loud in the ATL. The Falcons fans, they represented. But it was definitely disappointing. You know, this 49ers defense had been playing so well through the first 5 weeks. And obviously, they didn't give up that many points, right? But, you know, they allowed 9 of 14 third down conversions. That's never a recipe for success. Shout out to Niner Sickness, man. What's good? That's never a recipe for success. And there was one big third down conversion. I think it was like 3rd and 13.
3rd and 13, the scramble.
Yeah, the scramble by Mariota. How do we not have a quarterback spy? You know, and we know Mariota's not a good quarterback. He was only completing, I think, like 60% of his passes coming into this game. Granted, he was real efficient yesterday, only 13 of 14 passes, but how do we not have
incompletion came in the 4th quarter, Jay?
That's crazy. That's crazy. But and it's crazy. It's the 49ers were out physical. I never thought that I would say that, but the proof is in the stats. The Falcons ran the ball 40 times, over 160 rushing yards. That's something that the Niners want to do. The Niners want to win the time of possession. They want to only, you know, throw less than 22 passes, right? And run the ball 35 plus times. And the Falcons used our game plan against us, and we didn't really have an answer for it. The turnovers, Jeff Wilson Jr. fumbled, that definitely hurt us. You know, we were only 20 yards away from the opponent's end zone, our own end zone, and the Falcons went in, scooped it up, and scored. Obviously,
that's a backbreaker right there.
That is. Inability to run the ball, you know, hurt us. You know, we just weren't able to really get into a rhythm. Jeff Wilson Jr. didn't have it yesterday. It would have been nice to have seen other running backs. And I give you one more. this is like a pet peeve of mine. My wife is tired of me saying this, but when the Niners are on defense, we're playing a mobile quarterback. If the quarterback is running the read option, the edge rusher for the 49ers needs to keep outside contain. All you have to do,
I know Ebukam crashed it one time. He got beat. Mariota got the edge.
Womack crashed it one time.
Yes.
All you have to do is set the edge. You literally just stand there to make sure he can't Mariota run the ball to the outside numbers. Just stand there and make him give it to the running back up the middle, where that's the strength of the defense, because that's obviously there's more guys in that area on the field. So that was it's so frustrating seeing that, because it's so simple. And you got to think, D'Amico Ryans, he tells this to the guys, but mental errors like that. We've got so many injuries on the squad, we can't afford these mental errors. Drop passes, not keeping outside contain. We just can't do it.
No doubt. I'm with you. And I'm going to touch on a lot of the things that you just hit on. First, let's say what's up to the chat. Sup Sentinel. He says, help. I'm stuck rewatching the same game where the coach doesn't score any points in the second half and we choke. NFL Groundhog's Day.
Yeah.
I don't disagree, Sentinel. Kim, thanks for stopping by, Kim. Sickness says Jimmy sucks. Yeah, we're
first time I've heard that.
Yeah, I mean, Sickness wasn't the only one that was displeasured by Jimmy's performance. Let's take a look at my buddy's reaction. My buddy was disgusted with Jimmy's performance, to say the least. But, we're still hitting on some negatives, Jay. And, you touched on the drops. Coming out of half, right? 49ers were down 21-14. Felt like, we're still in the game. And the first three offensive series after halftime, Jay, first offensive series, Ray McLeod drops that bomb. Right, Jimmy, it might have been a tad long, but I'm still putting that on Ray. Right. How did you feel about that drop? Did you think that was Ray? Was the ball just a bit overthrown, or how'd you see it?
I think with Jimmy throwing the ball deep, which is something that we kind of rarely see. We're seeing a little bit of it now, but something over Jimmy's tenure with the team we rarely see. I'm just happy that he threw the ball deep, right? But if you're Ray, you're a professional receiver, you have to catch that ball. It's pretty simple. If Jimmy would have underthrown that a little bit, then that would have given the defender a chance to catch the ball. So shout out to Blue True. Yeah.
True. Hey, he's the reason these dollars are falling on us, Jay. Yeah. Shout out to Blue True, the super sticker. That's clutch.
Appreciate that, Blue True. And also, Jimmy gave Ray an opportunity to make a play on the ball, and Ray couldn't corral the catch. And I believe that's 100% on Ray. And I applaud Jimmy and this offense for at least stretching the field, trying to. But guys got to make plays. And it's not Kyle's fault that these guys are missing passes. It's not Kyle's fault that Brendo keeps holding in the worst time you possibly can, especially when you have a catch by Brandon Ayuk and the penalty negates it. That's not Shanahan's fault. So we got to hold these guys accountable. Praise them when they do well.
Jay. We're calling them out right now. We are holding these guys accountable.
Absolutely. And yeah, Ray, I loved his punt return. But you got to get that catch, Ray. That was a huge play.
Yeah. So like I said, coming out of half, the first series we had to drop by Ray. Second drive, drop by Charlie Warner up the seam. That was supposed to be a chunk play.
Yeah. And he just took his eyes off the ball. That's all that was. He took his where are you running to? You ain't gonna outrun nobody. Just catch the ball,
that's
man.
Where it's like, man, Ross Dwelly ain't dropping that ball.
Right.
Ross Dwelly ain't dropping that ball. So it's but anyway, so then the third drive, right? The third drive coming out of half, we throw the interception. So we squandered the first three drives coming out of the half. I was frustrated. And we got my boy copping in right here. Here he is. What up, Kelts?
Yee.
What's
up,
y'all? Big dog?
Hey, y'all can hear me?
Oh yeah, you sound crispy. You sound
Okay,
crispy.
cool.
We're talking negatives, right? Jay hit his negatives. I'm going through talking about how we squandered our first 3 series coming out of halves with drops and the interception. Then I wanted to hit on the fact, okay, the run game was struggling a little bit, right? You know, Jeff Wilson was averaging what 3 yards a clip, right? Felt like we needed some juice. And still, Jordan Mason is left on the bench. The kid doesn't get an opportunity. You got Tevin Coleman, who's got 5 carries for 4 yards. The guy's moving backwards half the time. So why don't we get to see the youngster, Jordan Mason? That was a negative I wrote down. I want to see what this kid's got. I don't know what he did to Kyle Shanahan, but he obviously ticked off the coach in some way.
Man, I seen Jordan out there, man. I'm pretty sure I seen Jordan out there several times, but on special teams.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a man. I want to be funny about it and just like, man, negatives. Like, man, we are in first place, man. Like, come on, man. Nah, I'm just kidding. No, I mean, hey, it is what it is. Um, yeah, man. It's just it feels like we're just continuously inconsistent. It's just win one, lose one. It feels like winning season, losing season. It's just my biggest thing from a like I've gotten to that point where I'm looking at it from a big picture. And just the big picture that I'm looking at is like, how are we continuously searching for an identity when these guys have been together for years? It feels like we're continuously searching for identity or continuously searching for a rhythm on offense when these guys have been together, these core players. Yes, I know the offensive linemen got to mesh and do all those kind of things, but it just feels like there's a continuous like, I don't know, man. I just think about the West Coast offense and getting in a rhythm, and you do things to set up things, and it feels like everything is just scratching and clawing and very, very hopeful just for even first downs. But hey, man, I was super excited about Jennings, though, man. Or not Jennings, Ayuk. I was juiced about that, man. So hey, it is what it is. Yeah, man.
No doubt. No doubt. A couple other negatives I wanted to hit on before we get to the positives, which BA Ayuk is definitely at the top of that positive list. But still, we're talking negative. Jake Brendel. Jay alluded to it earlier. Jake Brendel had some crucial penalties in moments where they're inexcusable, unacceptable. And I would say, hey, put Brunskill in there, but Brunskill was filling in for McGlinchey at right tackle. So it's like now our backup center, who you would use potentially to replace Brendel, is filling in elsewhere. So I don't know, man. Brendel, he needed to be held accountable. I had to call him out because I did not think he played well. And then, fellas, the last note I wrote for the negatives is Jimmy ain't clutch. He just ain't clutch. It's like when the game is tight and we need a big play, we need him to make something happening. It ain't happening. All right. And if you want to go back to 2019 and talk about the Saints game as that one time where he did something in the clutch moments, it's like go back to it. But you lose count of how many times you're hoping in that fourth quarter, whether it's the NFC Championship, whether it's the Super Bowl, whether it's just week 1 against the Arizona Cardinals in 2020, where he misses Kendrick Bourne wide open in the back of the end zone with a minute left in the game. All right. Jimmy ain't clutch.
Hey, straight up. I mean, he ain't clutch, and it feels like up to this point, Kyle isn't either. I know Kyle's not on the field. You know what I'm saying? But it just feels like that they are consistently the same when it comes to that aspect. It's just a trip, man. You bring up the Saints game, man, and it's like I'm trying to think of any other games where the offense really just like took a game and won it. And I can't think of many, and that's not good. It just isn't good with a coach like Kyle Shanahan with all the guys. These are all his guys. You know what I'm saying? He's been here, this isn't year 2, this isn't year 3. This isn't like these guys are trying to figure each other out. That's why I was talking about searching for identity. But to rarely win games with offense with the talent we have and the coaching we have and all this, it's man, hey, it would drive anybody crazy because it's just odd. It's odd. It's hard to put a finger on. We're the most injured team in the NFL, like almost every year, and it's like, hey, it's a football thing. Hey, it's a violent sport, and yeah, those things are true, but it's also true that we are the most injured team. We are, you know what I'm saying? It's like people continue to put Kyle Shanahan on this pedestal of kind of being like, I don't even want to use the word of like a genius, but like
I'm guilty of it too, Kelts.
like the offensive guru. Hey, there's times where I've been super hopeful for him and this, that, and the other. I've never really been one to just like blow on Jimmy or Kyle. And I don't want to like talk too bad on him either because I don't know. I just feel like that's kind of dumb when I do go a little too far with certain stuff personally. But you would just think that there'd be some kind of rhythm, some kind of flow, some kind of comfortability. Like, I don't know, man. It's just odd to me. It's weird. It just, maybe these guys just really are just average. Maybe Kyle and we already know Jimmy's average, but maybe Kyle is equally as average, man, when the pressure hits. And, maybe he is an amazing playbook maker. I don't even want, I think I made that up. But, people say play designer. But, it feels like when it comes to managing a game and calling a game, and I mean, where was the urgency? And I always talk about heart. And whenever I talk about heart, that's like kind of what I'm talking about is urgency, the desperation, I'm going to show, I don't know. I just think about Mike Singletary. I want winners. Like, hey, man, urgency. We're going to take these 15 seconds and try to do something. It's like if you stay stuck worried on, oh my God, I could throw a pick six in these 15 seconds, you ain't never going to win. And even when you do win, you still ain't winning. I don't know how to really say. I know that don't make sense, but sometimes surrendering.
You can't play scared.
You can't play scared, man. You got to show some balls in this league. This is the NFL. Like, let's go. Wake up. Where you at? Do it. It feels like it's so simple to just like Nike. Just do it. Just do it. Just try. Is it that hard to really? And I know I'm kind of talking from a general aspect because it's hard to really dive into the details and explain what I'm really trying to say. But man, just to show some heart. And I feel like there's always a lot of trickery with Kyle Shanahan. Like he's always doing the outside of the box thinking, always playing chess. And I know a lot, and I'm not talking about the vanilla scheme that he's playing because right now it feels a little vanilla, but it feels like the throw to Warner. Oh, they'll never expect this going to Warner. They'll never expect this deep shot to Ray. It feels like it's always they'll never expect it. It reminds me of Harbaugh when he threw the fade to Crabtree. We weren't practicing no fade in the corner the whole entire year. Why are you going to try to be brilliant like in times where you kind of really don't have to? Like Brandon Ayuk, for example, man, he runs beautiful routes. Why is he not being utilized? Why is he not like just being like, I mean, there's times where I see Debo running routes where I'm like, how come Ayuk isn't running those routes? Debo isn't the best at just go and make that sharp cut. Man, it's just a lot, man. It's just a lot. There's a lot of I don't know, he gets kind of glorified for scheming stuff up, but it feels like there'll be the wrong guys in the best scheme or vice versa. And then it'll be like the best guys. It's like everything is lightweight backwards. And it's like he tricks himself kind of, it's when it's hard, when you're confused and you're hard to even, when it's hard to diagnose, even when you watched it a few times, that just tells me there's confusion. And there shouldn't be confusion or searching for identity and all these fundamental basics, penalties, just continuous. All these things shouldn't be there after this many years. So that's the thing that really tells me bad coaching.
Hey, before Amin goes, gotta say what's good to Amin. But before you go, I just want to say I think we have to lower our expectations. And I said this to Celts off air. But if Jimmy is average, if he's decent, if he's garbage, how can we really expect this offense to flourish? You could have the best play call, but if Warner drops the ball, oh, well, you shouldn't have Warner in there. Well, he's on the 46-man active roster. He's the backup tight end to Kittle. He's got to be out there. And I just think if Jimmy is limited, why are we expecting this offense to really perform at its peak? I don't think we really can. And I think Kelts mentioned rhythm. Well, Shanahan wants to run the ball. We couldn't do that yesterday. But if you look at Shanahan's drives, I should say Jimmy's drives, when we scored those touchdowns, the offense looked in rhythm to me. I just feel like we're at a point now where the 49ers can't beat themselves. Turnovers, penalties, not executing. We can't do all that stuff and still expect to win the game. And let's be real. Yesterday, the 49ers got punched in their mouth by the Atlanta Falcons, and we didn't know what to do. If you would have told me that the Falcons ran the ball 40 times on us and they only threw the ball 14 times,
and it's like they weren't gashing us, Jay.
They weren't.
Like
they're running back like 3 yards,
2-3 yards. So right. It's like,
and whenever we would hit their running backs, they always went forward. So, whatever that is, injuries, whatever. I know people say, hey, that's an excuse, but that's reality. Depth is good until you have to use it on a full-time basis. If that depth comes in 10 to 15% of the plays, oh, that's all great. But when they have to play the whole game, I mean, at some point, there's going to be, they're not going to be able to play at the same level as a Bosa, as an Armstead, as a Kinlaw for the full game. It's just not going to happen. So I just think we got to, lower our expectations. And this offense missed on some plays, absolutely. But I don't see how you can really blame Shanahan. If you want to blame him because he's the head coach, hey, okay. But he wasn't out there dropping passes. He wasn't out there making penalties. So
I know, but he was the one drawing up the plays on some of these third downs where we got plenty of time, and it didn't seem like anyone was open. I got to wait for all 22 to go on NFL Game Pass to verify it, but there was a few third downs where Jimmy had time in the pocket. He's surveying. Didn't look like anyone was open. So those situations I do put on Kyle, and we're going to kick it to Amin. Amin, we're talking negatives. Well, we talk turnovers and anything you want to talk about negatives, but I also want to address Niner Sickness's comment here. I would like to know at what point did the 49er fans settle for mediocre quarterback play? Most of us haven't. And that's why we've been disappointed with Jimmy Garoppolo's performance for years. And that's why they went and drafted Trey Lance. So most of us, I would say even the organization didn't want to settle for mediocre. That's why they made the move to get Trey Lance.
Right.
But Amin, let's kick it to you. We're talking negatives. What did you think about this loss to the Falcons?
It sucked because this was a game that you were favored to win on paper. It was a favorable matchup, and you were expected to win this football game. By today, I expected the 49ers to be 4-2. We're not. We're 3-3. We're still number one in the division, so it's not all bad. But this was a game that the 49ers should have won. And the reason why they lost was self-inflicted wounds, shooting yourself in the foot. You look at offensively, right? I thought Jimmy Garoppolo played a pretty good game. The receivers weren't catching passes. That Ray or McLeod pass, Jimmy put it in a spot where McLeod could make a play on it. He wasn't able to make a play on it. That pass to Charlie Warner, Jimmy had a beautiful throw. Charlie Warner wasn't able to make a play on it. Even with those 2 interceptions, I thought Jimmy Garoppolo had a pretty good game. But the receivers weren't helping him out. And offensively, we just weren't stepping up, right? And if you expect your defense to dominate every single week, that's not going to happen. At a certain point, there are going to be games where your defense is not going to be as dominant, especially with the injuries that we had
yesterday.
Especially
when you're out 6 starters on the defensive side.
Especially with the injuries that you had yesterday. So the offense in that situation has to step up, right? And I thought for the most part, Jimmy Garoppolo did his part, but the receivers and the offense as a whole didn't do what they were supposed to do, which was catch passes, make plays. They weren't able to do that. So from that aspect, I think the negatives obviously were offensively you struggled mightily, and your defense obviously didn't have their greatest game. So now it's up to your offense to see, hey, offense, can you step up and can you make plays for the lack of your defense right now? And the offense wasn't able to do that. This game really reminded me offensively of the Arizona game last year. It reminded me of the Arizona game last year because the fumbles obviously the fumbles we had last year in that Arizona game, the wide open drop passes. This reminded me of the Arizona game last year. Jeff Wilson's 2 fumbles hurt us against the Falcons. I mean, just shooting yourselves in the foot. Self-inflicted wounds. That's what really hurt this football team offensively. And then defensively, missed opportunities on third down. We've been talking about it since week 1. Since week 1. Even in the games that the 49ers have won, we've been talking about on third down, stupid penalties, missed tackles. Fred Warner missed a tackle on third down. Just make the stop on third down. And it's just stupid. It's the way that the 49ers, screw up on third down is by penalties and missed tackles. They'll be right there on the play. It'll be Fred Warner screwing up or missing a tackle. Like self-inflicted wounds defensively, self-inflicted
or not containing Marcus Mariota, right? On the
Like
3rd and 13,
right.
We part the middle of the defensive line, and Mariota's able to scramble right up the gut.
Yes,
to convert on 3rd and long.
And I don't know if any of you guys said this before, but what this game reminded me of is that Packers NFC Championship game against the Green Bay Packers. What this game reminded me of was the 49ers versus Packers NFC Championship game. Marcus Mariota threw only 14 passes, didn't have an incompletion until the 4th quarter. Just how in the NFC Championship game, Jimmy Garoppolo only threw 8 passes, and what we did to the Packers was constantly run the football down their throat. And the thing was, the Falcons weren't getting like 4 yards per carry. They just kept pounding the football down the 49ers' throat, just kept running it and running it and running it and running it. This game reminded me defensively of the NFC Championship game. Marcus Mariota threw a limited amount of passes, and the Falcons just continued to pound the football down the 49ers' throats. There was a lot of... I want to
ask you guys, did you guys think that the fumble that Jeff Wilson had in the first half kind of spooked Kyle Shanahan away from the run, or do you think that was more due to the fact that we were down? I think we might have been down 14 at that point, or anyway, we were down. Right?
I think it was because we were down, because we've seen times where we've had fumbles before in the past, and Kyle Shanahan continues to stick with the run game because that's his bread and butter, right? But when you're down,
what'd you think, Jay?
I mean, it was still early. I mean, it wasn't even the second quarter yet. I just think we couldn't really establish the line of scrimmage. I mean, that's what football comes down to. We got punched in the mouth at the line of scrimmage. The offensive line couldn't really create any lanes for the runners to really run through, and I think that's what it came down to. I give credit, to the Atlanta Falcons. They get paid too. They're playing hard for head coach Arthur Smith. And they dominated the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. And that's why we couldn't, run the ball. I would have liked us to continue running the ball, or at least, use Jordan Mason. Tevin Coleman didn't have it yesterday. Jeff Wilson Jr. didn't have it. So it would have been nice for Shanahan to use other backs. But it's at this point in the season, it seems like that's asking a little bit too much of Shanahan because he has his guys that he trusts and he doesn't trust. And right now, Coleman and Jeff Wilson Jr. are the guys he trusts in the backfield.
Yeah, I feel like
like
from the first drive, what was it? One of the first plays, I think Kyle instantly like, oh shit. Okay, it's gonna be one of these games. Hey, we're a little depleted on defense, but you've seen it from the first drive. We haven't seen that all year. So we're ranked number 111 on defense, and we've been, that's been our strength. So to see something like that on the first drive, I think everybody's seen it. It was probably a shock to everybody, not just the fans, like, oh, dang, and so I think Shanahan probably thought, hey, man, it's going to be a Jimmy game, and then, of course, the fumble. To me, it was reminiscent of when Debo fumbled in Chicago. It just, like Jay said, with Jimmy, maybe the expectations are too high. I look behind here at these pictures over here, man, and I just I can't let go of what I fell in love with. Hey, I know it was how many years ago. I know it's a new day. I know it's a salary cap. I know it's a commercialized world that we're headed into. And back in the day, it was blood, guts, and glory. And today is a different world. So maybe my old school mentality, expectations of certain things, maybe, are a little unrealistic. But with Jimmy, man, it's just tough. You can't make the basic mistakes. You can't turn the ball over, and we know it. Kyle's been preaching it the whole time. It's one of his biggest things is turnovers. And once you get a fumble, a couple picks, some drop passes, some penalties. We had a little bit of it all in this game. And Kyle Shanahan, clock management. It's like everybody equally did their parts, but like Jay says, there needs to be big props to Atlanta because I think Atlanta, what they lost. I think they lost the 3 games they lost by like 11 points through the whole year. Every single game they've been. It's reminiscent of when the Niners were first getting going. They would always be in every single game, and hey, props to Atlanta. I've picked them almost throughout the whole year as like one of my underdog picks. When I'm on a Niner Beto's show, we do a NFL game predictions, and they've been from the beginning of the year one of my go-to underdog picks. Just believe in them. So, props to Atlanta. Yeah, I think Shanahan definitely got spooked with the fumble and the drive by Atlanta. So,
hey, I agree with you, Kelts. Everyone watching, take a moment to like this video. Let's get those likes up. Make sure you hit the subscribe.
Hey, can I address a comment real quick?
Please.
Yeah, can you pull up the Young Montana's comment real quick?
There's a few here. Which let's see.
Like
the most latest.
Yes, the most recent one.
The most recent one.
No, where he's talking about Vish didn't like yeah, that one.
Why do people keep saying Shanahan blew the Super Bowl lead? He's the offensive coordinator. He ain't the head coach. I don't understand why people keep saying that. But
listen. I asked Vish that question on his show yesterday, and I said as a hypothetical. I never said I would fire Kyle Shanahan. Let me get that straight. I wouldn't fire Kyle Shanahan. It's just been something that's been thrown around on Twitter, and I wanted to get Vish's opinion on it. So I asked him, hypothetically, if this defense is as dominant as they are this whole season, would you keep D'Amico and would you let go of Kyle? That's all I asked him. I wouldn't let go of Kyle. I would still keep Kyle, at least for the whole year. At least I would still keep Kyle. But I never said yes. They should fire Kyle Shanahan and keep D'Amico. I never said that. It was just a question because I wanted to get Vish's opinion on it. So I just want to clarify that. I never saying that I would fire Kyle Shanahan and keep D'Amico.
If Shanahan isn't going anywhere. He got a contract extension. He's not going anywhere. So I don't know why people say that they need to hire D'Amico Ryans as the head coach. How does that help the offense? I don't understand that at all. If anything, you'd want to hire a offensive guru or whatever as your head coach. But I think people need to take into account. I know people don't like when you bring up Chip Kelly, Tom Sula, Singletary, but those were all hires under Jed York. So you have to keep that in mind. They went from that.
And they were really bad. They were really bad.
Horrible hirings.
And York screwed up with the Harbaugh deal. York screwed up with that. So he's like, okay, I need to make things right. I need to just sign the checks, let it go, hire the people and let them do the job. And that's why he hired Lynch and Shanahan. They have been, when Jimmy's healthy, hey, this team's NFC Championship, Super Bowl. I don't think Jed York is just going to fire someone. And I know it's Super Bowl or bust. That's what it is every season. I get that. And I know it's been a long time. Last time the Niners won a Super Bowl, I was 7 years old. So it's been a long time, but there's no way York is going to fire Shanahan. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
Has Shanahan not met the Super Bowl expectations? No, he's not. That's something that I can't argue that. But, there's no way York is going to fire Shanahan. It's just not going to happen.
No, it's not.
Let's get to the positives because I think we could probably talk negatives for the whole hour-long show, but I think we hit on a good chunk of negatives. Let's get to some positives and hear what you guys got to say about that.
Hooray!
All right. Positives. Jay, let's start off with you. I feel like you're in a positive mood. Let me know a couple of positives that you picked up from this game, whether it's a player or a theme. Talk to me.
Kyle Shanahan's leadership. Yeah, I said it. The L word, leadership, has allowed this team to be 3-3, first place in the NFC West. Honestly, that's the most positive thing I could come up with from this game. That'll be my one. There are other players who stood out. If no one says those players, then I'll mention it at the end. But for me, the 49ers are still in the NFC West. The NFC West is honestly a terrible division right now. There really is no dominant NFC team. You got Philly. Okay, we know Dallas is what they are. They're not really anything to fear.
Jay, I came into the thinking that the NFC East was going to be the worst division, right? And NFC West was the best.
Right,
and it's
right.
Like those two at this moment in time are flipped.
I got a request because I can't do it the way Jay can do it. But man, I could have swore you were gonna say something about the Ayuk show, about a positive.
The Ayuk show. I was gonna let someone else say it, but I also have some other players maybe at the end if no one else says those names. But yeah, there's no doubt. Ayuk, he balled out. There's no doubt. He balled out, man.
Kelch, talk to me. What are some positives? We need some positivity.
It's Ayuk, man. It is Ayuk. What is one of the announcers? One of the announcers like to say, Ayuk, the Ayuk is on fire. Like
that was so cringe. That was so cringy. I saw that. Yeah, Greg.
I like Jay's.
First time I heard that sounded so
on the radio.
Hey, I like Jay's.
Papa, let that one go, Papa. Drop that one. No.
Hey, I like Jay's better though, for real. I don't know, how does Ayuk and Roof kind of, I never figured out how that kind of mixes up or mixes into each other. But yeah, man, it was Ayuk, man. You see the way that Ayuk runs his routes. He just looks strong. He looked, man, I got to keep it positive because I would just love to see him continuing to get the rock because he's wide receiver number one. Debo's the number one playmaker, but Ayuk is the number one receiver on this team, and it would be fantastic to see him being utilized to his full true potential. And that was a positive. Amenahue was a positive. I feel like Amenahue was on a few plays. And who is the other? Who is one of the other edge rushers that is escaping my mind?
Drake Jackson.
Drake Jackson was playing well. Yeah, those are probably the three. Yes, sir. What do you say? Won me a game in fantasy. Hey. Ayuk.
Shout out Jesse Naylor, Last Second Sports. He's the reason these dollar bills are raining on us right now. $2 dono. Thanks, Jesse. Keep killing it over at Last Second Sports. And Ayuk opened some eyes for me because honestly, I was being a bit critical of Ayuk. I wasn't ragging on him too hard, but felt like a lot of people were announcing him as a number one receiver that had already arrived. And I was saying, hey, Ayuk's got to show me something because Patrick Surtain locked his ass up against the Broncos. But hey, I can't say nothing, right? Yesterday, Ayuk was balling. He was torching defenders, getting separation, making big plays. So, hey, shout out BA because he was absolutely a positive. Please keep going, Kelts.
Yeah, man, those are probably the three main positives I seen. Was I'm trying to think, if any. Hey, you know what, Jimmy made some throws. Jimmy was Jimmy. He did make some throws. Unfortunately, it would have been nice to see if Kittle on that route or Ray on that route. But yeah, Jimmy did Jimmy things. So that was, I was really rooting and hoping that he could do the 3 games without the picks. It didn't happen, but hey, man.
For real though, Rich, even the games he didn't have an interception, it was like there was 1 or 2 that defenders dropped. Like the opportunities were still there for defenses to get picks off Jimmy.
I'm just trying to keep it positive, and I keep going to the negative. I'm supposed to.
This is a positive topic. My bad,
man. Hey, we got a freestyle at some point in time. Hey, I'm the one that did the whole positive negative thing, and it's kind of tough, but it keeps you on track, I guess. Yeah. But yeah, man, those are probably the biggest positives that I could think of. Is Ayuk. Trying to think of anyone else really on offense. Kittle, but then there was the miss with Kittle. So
let's see if Amin's got some positives. Amin, talk to us. What you got? We're thinking positive right now.
I mean, you're making me. Is this a critical thinking question? This might help you. This is a critical thinking question. I'll go with Jimmy Garoppolo. I think, obviously, with those if you look at those 2 interceptions, one of them was at the end of halftime, trying to make something happen. Not really that big of a deal. But Jimmy Garoppolo has some nice throws. I will give him a lot of credit for that, because we've talked about Jimmy Garoppolo can hit the deep pass, and I don't think he can hit it consistently at a high rate, but he did a good job of it on Sunday, right? He had that nice pass to Ray McLeod. He had that nice pass to Charlie Warner. I thought Jimmy Garoppolo had some really nice throws that the receivers just couldn't come down with. So I'll give Jimmy Garoppolo some credit for that. And then Ayuk, obviously, Ayuk caught 2 touchdowns, was more involved in this game. So definitely Ayuk is probably another one. Ayuk, man, he has some elite route running skills. Like Ayuk can run some routes. He's elite route.
That whip skills. Route is like, nasty.
Nasty. Like
Ramsey on
amazing route running skills. Like it's up there, right? The thing about Ayuk is that even with Jimmy being at the quarterback, I don't think Ayuk will have 1,000-yard season or as dominant of a season. Not necessarily 1,000-yard season, but I don't think Ayuk will have as dominant of a season with Jimmy G under center. If Trey Lance was under center, I think he would have a really darn good season. But Ayuk, man, he's special. He's definitely special. The route running's there. He's definitely, even though Debo is definitely utilized more in this offense, Ayuk, I would say, is definitely more of a polished receiver than Debo Samuel. I could say that confidently. Ayuk is definitely more of a polished receiver.
I mean, don't lose your train of thought, but Jay, I want to hear you pronounce Ibukam.
Samsung Ibukam. That's how I pronounce
it. Okay. Continue with me. I had to hear it.
Yeah, well, I mean, Jimmy and Ayuk. I mean, I thought Jimmy had some nice throws, and Ayuk was definitely more involved. So that was it was nice to see that. So yeah, and then I would say another positive, an underrated positive, is that Tashawn Gibson. He consistently has been able, even though he wasn't great against Atlanta, he wasn't phenomenal.
He got roasted on one play. It was by Zacchaeus, Olamide Zacchaeus. Yeah. And I'm thinking, why the hell is Tashawn Gibson guarding the slot receiver, a little shifty dude, Olamide Zacchaeus?
Yes.
Why? That made no sense.
That was D'Amico. Yeah. There was nobody else guarding him except for
D'Amico ain't on the field.
He put him in position. Come on, Tayshawn can't be in man-to-man coverage against a slot receiver. Like, come on, man.
He's part of the 53, bro.
Hey, maybe they should have put zone in on that play or do something. I don't know, man. Do something. Hey, another positive for me. Jimmy, he's looking to the left. He's looking to the right. He throws it deep. And too bad his teammates got butterfingers. They couldn't come up with the ball. But I like what Young Montana said. He said people focus on the drop passes but ignore his near interceptions. I would say every game the quarterback's going to throw. He's just going to throw it up there so his wide receiver can make a play on the ball. So every quarterback does that. But I don't think there's any argument here that Jimmy G he's not great. He's not going to be wearing that gold jacket at the end of his career. That's not going to happen. But hey, he's the best we have right now. Want to give another positive. Ray McLeod. I like the punt return. I don't remember the last time.
Yeah, that was nice. That was nice.
Yeah. He broke a tackle at the beginning of the punt return, and then he scampered for 35 yards. So that was nice. Drake Jackson, 3 sacks, and I think he's second or tied for first with Aiden Hutchinson as a rookies getting sacks. And I think Aiden Hutchinson plays 100% of their snaps, and Drake Jackson plays maybe 25%. So for him to have that production, I think that's good, and I think that's a sign of things to come. I think he's definitely a good draft pick so far, I would say.
Hey, Baller and Kels, I have a cool question for you. Side question: who's winning tomorrow?
Oh, you already know, man. Hold on, let me go get you. You already know. You already know. It's the
And for
champs
those
coming back to back on them.
yeah, the chat might
Champs are
not
coming
know.
back to back,
Amin the
man.
Dream,
Boy,
unfortunately, is a
ooh,
Lakers fan. Me,
Ooh.
Kelch, Jay,
that's tough.
Warriors.
Hey.
No, I can't say I'm a
No?
Warriors fan. I like LeBron.
Okay.
You got to get
Okay.
ready for a
Okay.
crazy
Also, both
season.
of these
I mean,
guys. We got some
Hey, you a
2v2
Lakers fan,
action.
Jay? You a Lakers fan, Jay?
I would say I'm more of a LeBron fan. Like when he was with Cleveland, I
He's a
no.
liked him
LeBron
there. When he was
chaser.
with Miami,
LeBron's
I'm just
got
a
his
LeBron
group
chaser.
mindset.
You know, I don't
Yeah,
have
Not
enough
LaQuinn.
funds
There we
to
go,
root
Jamal
for
in the
one
chat. There
team.
we
You
go,
know,
Jamal got my back. There we go, Lakers for life.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all gonna have an interesting season with Pat Beverly and
I'm really
Russell
not looking forward to
Westbrook.
this year. Like,
Do
we
we like
need
the
to have a rough
Lakers
year.
on this show? Do we like the Lakers on this show?
Hell no, to the no. Yeah, to the no.
Hell no. We don't like the Lakers.
That's
on
good.
this
Heck
show.
to the nah. It's
Oh,
gonna be all. It's gonna
Last
be
second
all
sports
bad.
talking about Damian Lillard and the Blazers. The
Hey,
Blazers.
they're down tough.
Bro, what are the Blazers doing?
They're in the worst situation possible because they're in that tier of
Ah.
teams that might barely eke into the playoffs, which means you're not getting the top pick, you're not getting premium talent, you're not getting the French kid, the 7'3" boy. I know this ain't a basketball podcast.
Wembanyama.
Wembanyama, this dude from
Wembanyama.
France is phenomenal. But hey,
Yeah.
let's get I
Hey, I
gotta
do
say
like-
what's up to my boy.
I
My
do
boy,
like.
I ain't
Wait,
seen my boy Chardall in a minute.
Chardall,
What's up,
yeah.
Chardeezy?
What's up,
What's
bro?
popping?
What up, Chardall?
Last second sports we talking about the Blazers like his co-host Brad be talking about the Detroit Lions. Like, it ain't gonna happen. Like, this year ain't the year. Like, it ain't gonna happen. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
Huge
still waiting. I'm
shout
still
out-
waiting for Dame to come back to the Bay, man. Just
That ain't
come back to, or it's not in Oakland no more, but just come back to the Bay, Dame.
come to
you know.
LA, bro. Come to LA. We will trade Russ. Couple
you
of
could
first
back
round
up
picks.
Steph. You could back up Steph, Dame.
Yeah, man. Yeah, for sure. That's exactly.
Ouch. Huge shout out to
Uh,
everyone in the chat. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up button. And I'm glad I've made an impression. I got a new fan in the Young Montana. Clearly, he loves what I'm saying on the show today. Appreciate you, Young Montana.
No doubt. Yeah. Hey, any let's see. What we doing? Positives? Any last positives we want to touch on? Because we got a few games to pick.
Well, let's pick them
And
games.
last
bro.
week,
What's the record?
last
What's the
week
record,
I was
Kel?
first place in the standings. I don't know how. I don't
What's the
remember how
record,
my
Kel?
picks went this
What
past
is the
weekend.
record?
But we got. Well, we'll sort it out. You don't got to figure it out now, Kels. I don't
Before we
want
get
you
to that, can
doing
we
outro.
just touch
who picked-
on a little
Seattle
bit?
won, huh?
Can we touch
Seattle
on the injuries just a little bit? Like
Please.
30 seconds. Like,
That's why we got you, Jay. Because there were injuries in this game versus the Falcons.
I don't understand what Shanahan can do. If it's the team isn't practicing hard in training camp. Okay, well, they're doing that. So I know you got to get the players ready, right? But then if you train them hard in training camp, they get hurt. Well, why are you training them so hard in training camp? If you don't let them play preseason, they got to feel their way out in the regular season. Well, they're not ready because you're not playing them hard enough in training camp. So I don't know what Shanahan can do. People have saying, hey, don't draft injury, don't draft players who have had significant injuries. Obviously, Javon Kinlaw, unfortunately, that draft pick, it didn't really work out. But as far as other guys on the squad, I mean, Charvarius Ward, obviously, Emmanuel Mosley was undrafted, so that's kind of, but I don't understand what Shanahan can do other than draft players who don't have, the serious injuries already in their career, because I don't think you can really predict that someone's going to have a serious injury. They either have a track record of getting injured or they don't. But it sucks to see, especially Emmanuel Mosley in a contract year get hurt. But we like someone brought up a stat. We're last in the league and most banged up. Like it just sucks to see again and again. I don't know what else Shanahan can do. Anyone else want to take a stab at it?
Show some balls and some heart. That's all I got.
All right. Let's see. Any other injuries we got to touch on that happened in game?
Talanoa Hufanga is in concussion protocol. I saw that today. Armstead, I mean, he's going to be on the injury report for the rest of the year. He's got the foot, he's got the ankle. Bosa, I think, is day to day with the groin. You know, he may play against KC.
Flanagan fouls with the knee, McGlinchey with a calf.
Right.
I mean,
it's all over the place, man.
I know. Jamal, who's in the chat, shout out Jamal. I mean, you had Jamal on?
Yep, I did.
That's big time. Make sure.
I want to say happy birthday to Shardal, bro. Happy birthday.
Yes, that's why I put this up. Happy birthday, Shardal. In honor of Shardal, listen to what he's got to say.
Make sure you like and subscribe.
There it is. Make sure you like and subscribe, fellas.
Make sure you like and subscribe.
Right. Happy birthday, Shardeezy.
Y'all heard him.
Hey, you guys want to pick some games? You ready for it or what?
Let's do. What's the records, Kels? What's the records?
Yeah, I'll update it real quick, man. So I caught Baller, but so it's me and Baller at 12-6, and then we got Jay and the Bay at 6-12, and then you're 6-6.
I'm 6-6. Oh
you're
man,
6-6.
We like the Niners, bro. We sitting at 500. All right, we out here.
Okay,
yeah, but this week I was 3-1. Jay was 1-3, Eamon was 2-2, and Baller was 2-2.
That's the thing, man. I missed on Seattle. I slept on Seattle.
I hit it.
I think me and Kels were the only ones that picked the Giants this week.
Yep.
Yeah, me and Kels, we picked the Giants this week. Yeah.
Hey, well, that's the perfect precursor because this first game coming up. Yeah, Amin, kick us off. You rolling with the Giants? We're talking Giants, Jags. Who you got?
Give me the Giants. Give me the New York Giants. They've been on a roll. If they lose to the Jaguars, like, I mean, I don't know. Like, you beat the Ravens, but give me the Giants. Like, give me the New York Giants. I'm sticking with the Giants. I'm not going to go bold here. Even though I'm feeling the Jaguars, I'm going to go the Giants.
Where is it at? Where is it? Does anybody know? It's in Jacksonville. Jacksonville's been a little shaky. They came on a little strong. But just the sound effects that Bay Area put on there almost makes me want to pick the Jags.
Oh man, the sound effects.
The sound effects almost swayed me, bro. Sometimes that's how crazy the NFL is. Man.
That's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to do its job to try to influence you one way or the other.
I mean, are the Giants?
Now the red and blue reminds me of Last Second Sports, and he just won on a fantasy. So now I'm torn now. I'm gonna just go ahead and take the Jags.
See, it's that sound effect. Told you it's that sound effect.
Did it?
Are the Giants really that good? I mean, if you look at their wins, I mean, they beat Tennessee, they beat the Panthers, they beat the Bears. Now they did beat the Packers, but the Packers, I guess the Giants' biggest win is Baltimore, and now they go and play the Jags in Jacksonville. I'm gonna say Jacksonville. I don't think the Giants are that good.
Ooh,
wow, Baller,
NFL,
which side are you on? Are you going to be with me? Are we gonna have a divide? Or am I gonna be the only one?
I'm not going to change it up. I didn't know what you guys were going to pick. I wrote down Jags. So that's going to be 3-1. So, Amin, you could actually gain some ground here because it's 3-1. Three of us picking Jags. You're going Giants. All right, let's see. What's
in the back of my mind, I really wanted you to pick the Jaguars so I could be the only one with like the Giants.
It's true. Yeah, I thought about flip-flop because I thought maybe I was going to be the only one on the Jags, but no, that's what my gut said. But let's see what game number 2 is. Chat, let us know who's going to win this game. Jay, why don't you start us off?
The sound effects. Seahawks versus the Chargers. Man, the Chargers got a huge win today in overtime. I'm trying to look to see. Okay, this game is in LA again, so they don't have to travel for the game. Hey, I think the Chargers can win. Yeah, I think I'll take the Chargers to win at home versus Seattle. I believe more in Justin Herbert than and Geno Smith. And granted, Geno Smith has been playing pretty well, but I'll hitch my wagon to Justin Herbert.
Man, that offense looked disappointing tonight, right? Before we started this show.
Herbert lost me fantasy tonight. All I needed from Herbert was 16 points. 16 points from Herbert. And Herbert couldn't even put up 16 for me tonight.
Man, Denver showed up, man.
They got a good D. They got a good D. They got that. Oh, man.
All right, let's get back on track. Amin.
Give me the Chargers. The Chargers.
Go Chargers. Go.
Yeah,
go Chargers. Oh, man.
Kelps.
The Terminator. Go
Man,
Chargers.
I want the Chargers to win. Of course, I want to see the division. Of course, I don't never want to see no Seahawks win. But I was listening to Brian, what's his name, Baldinger today. And after he was talking about how there's a philosophy issue with the 49ers, and that basically means, there's a coaching issue. And then he got real choked up. It's the first time I ever heard Brian Baldinger get choked up. He didn't even know how to word it, just the confusion with the 49ers offense. But I think he chooses where he's going to go and what game he's going to watch throughout the week. And he's going to be in LA and watch that game. He's going to go down to LA and watch that game, and mainly because of the Seahawks. He thinks the Seahawks are playing amazing, and he's going to watch that game instead of the Niners versus Chiefs. So I'm going to pick the Seahawks just off of that, man.
Okay, Celts keeping it from being a sweep because I'm rolling with the go Chargers. All right, next up on tap features my boy at quarterback. Amin knows who my boy is.
Or Jets and Broncos.
And it wasn't Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson is not my boy. So that'll tell you who my boy is. Jets, Broncos. Why don't we start this off with the kid, Amin the Dream?
This is a tough one, man. Like, you have a struggling Broncos team that has the upside. Then you got the Jets who come off 2 big wins.
Jets playing good, baby. Jets playing good.
Oh, man. Your boy Zach Wilson's getting carried by that run game. No, he's been all right. But, Breece Hall and Michael Carter, they be doing their thing. I'll go Broncos. This Broncos defense has been phenomenal. So I'll go with the Broncos. I just expect a little bit better from, Let's Ride and Russell Wilson. So I'll go the Broncos. I'll go the Broncos. It's going to be a tough one, but I'm leaning the Broncos.
Jay, talk to me. Jay, talk to me.
Man, the Jets are 4-2. I mean, who would have thought that? Salah's doing an excellent job out there, man. I guess coaching really matters, especially when your players execute. But what do I know about that? But hey, the Jets got to travel to Denver. That's a long flight. They got to travel from the East Coast to the West Coast. They're changing time zones. I mean, that's a huge deal. But Denver just looks discombobulated, man. They just look putrid out there. But they are at home, and eventually they have to turn it around. But it won't be against the New York Jets. The Jets will take this one in Denver.
All right. Right now we're 1-1. We're 1-1. Celts, what you thinking?
Man, I keep waiting to see if Russell will wake up, man. And it's looking like it's going to be tough sledding. I think I've picked him maybe a couple of times throughout the years or throughout the weeks, just saying, hey, this will be the game. They'll get it together or whatnot. But yeah, man, it's the Jets, man. It'll look like, they're going hard for Robert Saleh. The defense, Sauce Gardner, Zach Wilson, he came back. He's looking decent. The run game. That team, they look fired up, and they're playing for their coach for sure and executing very well. Yeah, it's the Jets, bro.
No doubt. I'm rolling with my boy, the MILF Hunter, Zach Wilson.
Stifler.
Okay. Yeah, you got that right. All right, last game we're predicting, fellas. Colts, Titans. Titans are at home. Celts, well, let's put you on the spot first. Who's winning this game?
It's the Titans.
The Titans.
It's Titans just because the Colts. I was kind of rooting for Matty Ice.
Coming off a bye, too. Titans are coming off a bye.
Yeah.
So that helps out.
I was waiting for Matt Ryan to I don't know. I always go for the underdogs. I always go for those, the guys toward the end of their career, trying to get a spark, the Marcus Mariotas or, those kind of guys. I always got a thing for underdogs, man. And it doesn't look like it's going to happen for Matt Ryan. So, I'm going to go Titans.
Sounded like Amin's rolling with the Titans, too.
Yep.
Okay. What about you, Jay?
The Titans are at home coming off a bye. I mean, they should win this game.
Should.
Yeah. And both teams are on winning streaks. So what gives? I think the Titans winning streak continues at home.
Let's see. Jonathan Taylor. We know Jonathan Taylor's been out, hasn't played the last couple games. If he's back in the lineup, that will boost the Colts odds, in my opinion. I mean, the Titans, they don't wow me. So I don't feel comfortable making this a clean sweep in favor of the Titans. So that being said, I'm rolling with Indy. Matt Ryan, who's looked a bit shaky a couple weeks, but last week threw for like 350 or something. Played really good. Pittman's catching a bunch of balls. Hey, Jonathan Taylor, maybe he comes back. So I can't go clean sweep Tennessee Titans. Tennessee Titans out here.
Hell no, to the no, no, no. Yeah, to the no.
Hey, fellas, that's all I got on docket. So the floor is yours. Anything you want to share with the fan base? Let them know what you're cooking up on your channels because all you guys are killing it. Make sure you're subscribed to all three of these gentlemen. And shoot, the floor is yours, guys. This is kind of the wrap-up segment.
Well, I'll say huge shout out again to the chat. It's always good to have people who are watching contribute in the chat. Love seeing everyone's comments. Huge shout out to everyone. I don't want to name one person, but everyone that contributed tonight. You guys are the real MVPs. You guys and gals are the real MVPs. On the Jay and the Bay YouTube channel, feel free to head over to my channel as well on YouTube. I have IG, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok. I got it all. Just look for Jay and the Bay, and I appreciate all the support. And no doubt.
Yeah, man. And hey, for me, man, if any of my subscribers are out there or anybody in the chat, appreciate y'all. Always appreciate you three gentlemen, man, just rocking out with the show. But hey, man, I'm always, I'm kind of like the Niners, man. I'm wildly inconsistent, and especially ever since the Seattle game, I haven't really done too much streaming on my show, man. It just is what it is. But I will be back soon, coming through with some hot fire. And but tomorrow morning, I'm actually going to be on a show with Ryan G. Hensley. I don't know if you guys know him. You might have seen him on Grant Cohn's show. Yeah. But he's starting up a new morning show called 49 Warriors. And I just think that's a dope name. He's a Warrior fan, Niner fan. He also is I believe, mortgage lender. Seems like a great guy. Yeah, man, I'm going to be on the show first. I think it's at like 8 o'clock maybe, but I'm going to be on there toward the end. But Booby Dixon is also former 49er running back. He's also going to be on the show right before I'm on it at, I believe, like 8:15, and then I come on at about 8:30. So check it out tomorrow morning. Ryan G. Hensley, I'm pretty sure, that's how his YouTube channel is as well. And yeah, man, I think he's doing it every morning. He's got all kind of guests. He's got Steph 49 on there, Peter Lucas was on the show, I believe, yesterday. Jack Hammer, some other great guests throughout the week. So check it out, y'all.
Yeah, I love doing the show with the crew every Mondays. Looking forward to talking with you guys next Monday. Hopefully the Niners bounce back and get a W against the Chiefs. Hopefully we'll be talking about a victory on Monday, Victory Monday. And lastly, go Lakers. That's all we'll finish off with. Go Lakers, all right? Go Lakers, all right? We out here, right? Go Lakers.
Hell no, to the no, no, no. Yeah, to the no.
You know what? Amin gets removed for that kind of stuff. You try to pull some Lakers stuff like that on my channel, Amin? No. Shoot, I don't gotta tell you.
Hell no. To the no, no, no. Yeah, to the no.
Hell no. Hell to the no, no,
That's
no.
right. Yeah, hey, you see that up there? Let's see. Hold on. We got see the Splash Bros right above me right here. Shout out to this. It's getting splashy out here. Okay, I guess we can let Amin back.
Quick, like 30-second response from everyone. What's everyone think our chances are beating the Kansas City Chiefs?
Not high.
Yeah.
I'm a little different, man. I'm kind of in that, like, regardless of, you know, Vish, hey, Vish, if you want someone to be mad at, come at me. Fire Shanahan. Bring D'Amico. I'm all for change. Y'all know me, man. You know, would I do it? Like, if I was running a team, I would never do it right now. But my quick, you know, I would be a little more professional than that. But just being my passionate self and being true to myself and real about it, you know, those are some of the ways I really feel, you know. But besides that, man, I threw myself completely off track. I believe we could beat any team, but then I feel like we could lose to any team. You know, that's what I wanted to say. I feel like you just never know with this team. I feel like people are out there like, dude, there is no way we could ever beat the Bills. I feel like we're the prime definition of any given Sunday. Any given Sunday, we could beat anybody and we could lose to anybody. And hey, man, that's a Shanahan team right there. It's always drama, man, and it's torturous. So we're gonna see it.
Hey, if we're gonna beat the Chiefs,
is that a cat? Like, I just saw. Sorry to interrupt you. Like, I just saw something like.
It's a come here, Jackie ball.
Like, that just made me like, I saw something like come up behind you, like.
Come here, man. Come on.
No doubt. Oh, and then there it is.
There he is.
There it is. What you know, Shardizzle?
You want this?
Shardizzle coming through. That's right. We don't like those Lakers out here.
Go Lakers. Go Lakers. Lakers for life.
Amin's gone officially because he hit the limit of saying Lakers too many times in one show. It's like there's like a 2 Laker limit, and then that's it. And Amin exceeded that, so now he's gone. So hey, we got Shardal, SG Sports Talk Channel, BLA. That's right. Hey, fellas, I want to thank Jay. I want to thank you for joining me, Kelts. You're the man. Oh,
nah, you're good.
There's the dog. What's up?
I hear you, bro.
Amin the Dream is now gone. He is off the channel for the remainder of the show. But hey, you know what? We still
hell no. Hell to the no.
Shout out to Amin though. Amin's still my boy.
For sure.
No, I'm just playing. I can't do that to him.
Great show tonight, fellas. Great show.
Yes, that's it. That's a wrap. Make sure you guys subscribe to all these guys. Links are in the description. And hey, we'll be back next Monday. I don't know. It's going to be on one of our channels. That's why you got to subscribe to all 4 of us.
Absolutely.
Hey, catch y'all next time.
Peace.